Civil War, now out. Let's talk about it. Okay, so A24's newest film, Civil War, is now out on the biggest screen for you to go and watch, and I highly recommend checking it out on the biggest screen. It's the only way to watch movies because it is the best way to watch movies. Now, this is unfortunately going to be the last film that Alex Garland ever does, as we know right now, because he has unfortunately fallen out of love with filmmaking, which is a shame because this is a guy that has done some spectacular work. We're talking Annihilation, we're talking Ex Machina. You know, he's done those films that are absolutely incredible. Now, this is a way to go out. I'm telling you now, if you're going to go out on a film, this is the film to do it, because Civil War, there's only a handful of times where I've walked out of the theater after seeing a movie and having this feeling of, holy crap, that felt real. Like, when I walked out of Joker, for instance, I felt like, okay, that is something that could happen. That is realistic. That's, that's insane. That could happen. When I walk out of Oppenheimer after that last scene, I'm thinking, oh my God, that is insane. That feels realistic. That feels like a possibility. But walking out of Civil War, I actually felt like I walked out of an actual war-torn zone. Like, that's what this movie feels. The realism, the way that it's able to immerse you in the front lines on the battlefield was amazing. It's an amazing experience because it's mind-blowing what they were able to do with this film. It really is. Like, you got to give credit to the sound design, because when I'm sitting there watching it in IMAX, this sound design made it feel like I was actually there on the front line. So when the gunshots are going off, when the jets are flying over, when the helicopter's flying over, when the bombs are going off, the tanks, everything like that, that's happening in the war, you feel like you're there. You feel like everything is happening because it's just so brilliantly done with that sound that it feels like the jet's flying over the top of you. That's just how good it is, how immersive it is. And then the shots. Some of the shots, the cinematography is amazing in this film. Like, Dune 2 was really good, amazing-wise, when it comes to cinematography and that. This movie, for its cinematography, was fantastic. And what I loved is the editing in this film as well. The way that they were editing as you're walking and as they're taking photos of what's happening, the way that they're able to edit it so that it goes into the photos and it still feels like it all flows. Because sometimes you could be there and feel like, okay, we're going through this journey here, and then it cuts to like a photo and it kind of feels like out of place and it slows the pacing down. Not here. This just kept flowing and flowing and flowing. I really enjoyed that. What I also loved is this wasn't about the political elements at all. This isn't about who's left, who's right, or anything like that. This is a story about war itself, about what happens on the front line. The horror of war is is showcased here. The human elements are showcased here. That's what it shows you. It doesn't dive into how this Civil War started, like why they did this and that. No, it's all about these photographers and this press going into war and showcasing you the horrors of war. And the scenes in this movie, I mean, I've seen a lot of horror movies. So I've seen a lot of blood in that. I've seen movies where there's a lot of people getting killed. There was just something different about this when you watch it on screen. This just felt like this felt real. That's what I mean. It just, when someone dies in here, you feel the impact. You feel like it's almost a real person dying, even though it's a movie. This one feels. So like when you watch the horror movies, you're like, oh yeah, it's the horror movie. Like, you don't feel like, oh yeah, that's a real person. This does. And that's a credit to the directing, the writing, and to the cinematography, to everything involved in this film to make it feel so realistic that when those deaths happen, it almost feels like you're watching a real person die. Like, it's epic. And they don't shy away from showing you the horror. Like there are scenes in here that some people who can't handle realism are gonna struggle getting through this film because of just how realistic those images look as you're watching it. Like there's one scene, as you see in the trailer with Jesse Plemons, that whole scene is just, oh my days. Like I've never seen or felt something like it before. And there's moments in there with involving a pit with people and stuff like that. That feels really real. So that's one scene I'm talking about. But that scene alone, the anxiety, the tension of that film, you just feel every emotion in that scene. It's one of the best scenes of the year. That whole entire segment that goes on there, you feel like you're on edge. Everything, the stakes are all there. You feel like, I'm telling you, when you come out of this film, you're going to come out of this film going, oh my God, that was freaking amazing. So good. But it's not a film I'm going to go back and rush back to watch because of just how heavy the tone and the imagery and everything of this film is. It's not one that you can just continuously rewatch, but it's a film that you have to see. I'm telling you that you have to see this. The performances are stunning. Kirsten Dunst, oh wow, she is at her best in this film, playing the reporter here. And you know, she has her story that's going on. And what I love is she's a photographer who's gone to war before, who's taken photos. That's her job. And in this scene, in this movie, she has a moment where she breaks down. And like, it's almost as if everything is finally catching up to her. And, you know, the rest of the performance are superb as well. To get across that emotion when you're following these characters, you're following the press, you feel like, you know, you're going on this journey with them. You feel like you're the cameraman. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're the cameraman filming all this happening. That's how immersive this film is. It's just, I'm gobsmacked at how good this film is. And I'm telling you what, if you're gonna go out on a film, this is the type of level and, you know, execution that you go out. Alex is going out on a high, man, a real high. It's a shame because of how talented this guy is and how good he is at coming up with stories like this, like we've seen with Ex Machina, with Annihilation, and now with Civil War. We've seen how good this guy really is behind the camera, and it's a shame we're not going to see any more of it. I'm hoping that maybe he comes out and does another one. Maybe he just needs a break and then come back, because when you're doing heavy stuff like this, I understand why you would need a break. But I want to see more of it, and I'm hoping he comes back and finds that passion again. But if you're gonna, like I said, if you're gonna go out, this is the movie to do it. So, yeah, this movie is just simply stunning, jaw-droppingly great, and yeah, must see. You have to see this movie. So let me know what you guys think of Civil War. Did you guys enjoy it? Smash it down in the comment section below. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.